All right, today we're gonna go over how to check the continuity or the resistance in our thermistor wires. We're also what we call it a paperclip test. We're gonna start off by turning on the freeze dryer. You're gonna find yourself in the home screen. Just to confirm, this is on our latest software, version 5.4 or 0.525, okay? First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go to our functional testing, and this continuity test is gonna be performed on our tray temperature. Right now it's reading room temperature, which is 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Once we disconnect things, that's gonna change, and I'll explain what you're looking for as we test those components. So this is an example of a paperclip. You can be bigger, probably nothing smaller than this. And then you're gonna make it look like this in order to get each end on each of the thermistors. And that's all you need to perform this paperclip test. First, we're gonna attempt to test the continuity with the meter. To do this, we need to remove the thermistor wire from our relay board. It's usually this one coming out of our epoxy harness. And the name or the letter on the relay board is J17, if you want reference. That's where you'll remove it, and that's where you'll be putting it back once we're done. Now that we have our thermistor wire from our relay board, we're gonna get access to our epoxy harness by removing the pigtail and the epoxy right here. A little clip and pull. And we're going to be working with this. You can put your shelving unit aside for now. In order to do this, again, with the meter, something similar to this, or you can buy something cheaper at Walmart for about $5 or $8. There are a lot of different types of meters that you can use. And then we're going to go to our continuity tester. We have the lines here. So on your epoxy harness, make sure that you're looking at what we call the skinny wires. Those would be your thermistors. Usually they're either on the bottom or on the side, and you can look at it from the very back of it, okay? You're gonna grab this other one, put one of these lines on one of these thermistor wires. It's a very little connection there, but all you have to do is make sure it's making contact. You can grab it with your fingers like that if you need to. And the other one is gonna go on the thermistor line on our actual epoxy harness. Again, remember, it has to be one of the skinnier wires, and make sure there's nothing turned on the freeze dryer in regards to heat, vacuum, or freeze. Once you put it in there, you should start hearing a beep here. So just like that. We're gonna move on to the next one. Same process. We have continuity. That tells us that at least this thermistor wire is reading resistance, and it has continuity from one end to the other one. Once we're done with the meter test, or if you don't have a meter, we're gonna have to retrace our steps back to perform our paperclip test. We wanna put our thermistor wire back onto our relay board. Once again, it is J17. And it's gonna go right there. There's 4 of them, so make sure it's J17 and you don't mistake it for a different one. It's for the tray temperature. To perform the paperclip test, you're gonna need a paperclip, of course, and then you need access to our epoxy harness. Again, we're testing it on the same thermistor wires on the bottom, skinny wires. So the paperclip, you're gonna make it look like this, and you're gonna put each end on each of the thermistor lines. Once again, make sure that there's no heat, vacuum, freeze, or anything running on the freeze dryer, just in the functional testing screen. In this specific epoxy harness, we have the thermistor wires on the bottom. That's what we're gonna stick each end of the paperclip, as far as it can go. And at this point, we are gonna watch what the screen is gonna do, and I'll explain to you what that is. When you remove the shelving unit from the freeze dryer, you're gonna see that your tray temperature either is gonna fall down to a dash, or it might be a static negative number. It all really depends on the software version. This is on our latest software. So again, once we insert the paperclip into the epoxy harness on the thermistor lines, you're gonna look for 2 things. This number either is going to fluctuate very, very high, probably high 200s, 300s, could be up to 600, and then it's going to fluctuate back down to whatever negative number is started. Or the other indication that this thermistor is good and there's continuity through it, you will see that tray temperature eventually rise and turn into a plus. So those 2 are indication that our thermistor line is good. If you ever see where it's either not doing anything or staying static, that usually means that our thermistor is having some sort of issue, or your paperclip is not inserted all the way or properly. So let's watch it do its thing. And you don't need to worry about the room temperature, just focus on the tray. And there we go. In this case, it turned into a plus plus, but you also saw that temperature fluctuate up. This tells us that thermistor wire is good and there is continuity in it. Once we remove it, it'll go back down and it'll eventually either dash out or stay on a static negative number. There we go.